thank you so much, Angie, for returning. And so now there's a couple things you want to talk about. Some leftover makeovers, maybe navigating some of those family situations, or a kid that maybe is a little bit pickier than the rest of the family, and maybe some vegetarian options too.
Yeah, thank you. As we were talking last time, I got a little excited about some of the other things that I wanted to discuss, because meal planning is easy when everything's smooth. I can plan to cook chicken, I can cook it, we can eat it, but then other things come up, right? As my son was growing up, he was experimenting with vegetarianism, and I don't want to be a short order cook. Parents shouldn't be short order cooks for a few reasons, one of which we've got enough to do. Two, the biggest one for me is those kids don't tip well enough to make them something different every time. So how do you navigate making sure that everybody's covered and feeling like you're doing a good job, but not making 2 or more meals at a time? And a lot of the technique that I use there is all the sides can be the same. The sauce can be the same. It really is just the protein that needs an extra pot, right? So I might be able to make, for example, last session I mentioned peanut chicken noodles. Well, I can do that because the sauce is the same and the vegetables and the noodles are the same. And then I've got the chicken over here, and the person who doesn't want chicken, I can either put in chopped up tofu or just have more peanuts, and then everybody's covered. So we're all really eating the same thing, but I've made sure things are separate. I've got one extra pot. Another way that I would do that, I talked about backups, especially with a vegetarian or with someone who's particular, right? When I was young, I really didn't like fish. So when the family would have fish, there was a backup that I would have. So having, falafel balls in the freezer, or one of my favorites is chickpea burgers that I'm going to just freeze so that I can have a patty for my vegetarian where the rest of us are having meat or burgers or something like that, so that everything is the same, but I'm just arranging so the protein is a little bit different. Same is true if it's picky, right? Knowing that there's enough stuff on the table that everybody likes and we can all share, so that you're kind of overlapping the work a little bit, is really important. The other thing that I think is a bit of a save, I think, two things. All the appliances that we're going to change our lives, pull them out. Yes. Pull them out and use them. Even if it's only once a week. Once a week, my crock pot still saves my life. Yes. It doesn't have to be every night. I don't have to have the Instapot out every night. I don't have to drop another $300 to have a new tool. But if you've already got some, pull it out. I remember my mother-in-law bought me an indoor grill. Now, this was well over 10 years ago. Oh my gosh, it might have been 15 years ago. And it stayed in the box for a really long time, because I'm like, what's the point of that? And then I finally pulled it out. Oh, I regretted waiting for as long as I did, because that's fast, and I can put meat and veggies on there, roll the rice is in the microwave. That's a 20-minute, if you're slow, kind of situation. So pull those tools out and try to use them sprinkled in through the week. If you've got something, well, like a Zoom meeting, you can put something on, go to your Zoom meeting, and then by the time you're done, it's finished. So those kinds of things can be helpful. And then really purposefully planning for leftovers. For me to cook 5 or 6 pieces of chicken, it takes the exact same amount of time for me to cook 12. Yeah. Same dishes, same timing. So if I fill the pan instead of just cooking for what I'm having tonight, now at my house, and I shared last time, I have 2 grown, very young men, big teenagers, right? Like the shortest one is 6'2". Like they're big ones. And then my partner, so I have to put a note. I have to pull that chicken out and put it in a container with a note that says, I have plans, don't eat me. And you can imagine that that's because of something that has happened. Yes. I have a 16-year-old too. Yes. Yes. What happened to the chicken? Oh, what chicken? Well, there was a container of chicken. Oh, I ate it. Well, that was your supper. So good luck. Have a good day. So pull it out, set it aside. That's for something else, whether that's for lunches over the day or whether that's for tomorrow night or the next night's supper. It's a way to use leftovers, but they don't taste the same, right? So if I'm cooking chicken, I can have one of my favorites would be like, Greek chicken tonight. I'm having chicken souvlaki tonight, but I pull the chicken out before I've flavored it and chop it up and put it in the fridge, and then I can have chicken burritos. Technically leftovers, totally different flavor. I'm a bit of a baby. If I have it twice in a row, I'm kind of over it. I don't want it again. So that kind of thing makes it so the hardest part of burritos is cooking the meat. So once I've got some rice and beans, I throw that mixture in there, done. That's less than 15 minutes, right? So those kinds of things can really make a difference. I can also cook some of that stuff and freeze it so that I can pull it out and it's already pre-cooked. That can be really helpful. I also wanted to give an example. I was working during the beginning of COVID. Sorry, I'm foggy and I can't see where you are, Amanda. There you are. I had a lot of clients say, I can't get to the grocery store more than once a week or less, right? Less frequently than that. I don't really have a lot of food in the cupboard. I'm out of money and I don't know what else to do. Here's the stuff I have in my cupboard and my freezer. What can I make? So one of the techniques that I have essentially, well, I want to say invented, but that's a little extreme, is making sure that when you're at the grocery store and you're able to take advantage of the section where the meat is going to go bad tomorrow, so they've got it 30, 40, 50% off. This is where the flexibility can come in. Oh, they've got chicken legs 50% off. Like that's a really good deal. I might not be able to cook it today. Today might be a busy day for my family. I'm going to put it in the freezer. That buys me a little bit of time. If I can cook it today, ideally what I would suggest is cook it all at once, knowing that you're going to get 4 meals out of this, right? So I would absolutely put that in my crock pot and walk away. Yeah. I would absolutely just put pieces of chicken, some onions and garlic, because everything I cook has onions and garlic, some salt and pepper so that it has a little bit of flavor, but you're not committing to any specific flavor. If I put Italian flavoring in there, I can't make burritos. You know what I mean? Those things taste funny together. And then let that pot cook. And then when I come back, I take all of that stuff apart. I'd probably save some of those legs and we'd have roasted chicken. Right. Oh, here's a little tip. If you've got anything in your crock pot, soup, stew, chicken, whole piece of like roast or something, you can wrap your potatoes up in foil and put them on top. Ooh. And then you got baked potatoes, or you've got cooked potatoes for another night if you're going to make potato salad or potato pancakes or something like that. Doesn't take any more pots. I don't like cleaning up as much, right? I agree. So tonight I might have, a chicken leg and a baked potato, but then I'm taking all the chicken off those bones for 3 other recipes. I'm going to make either chicken burritos or chicken quesadillas are a pretty fun standby at our house. We like those flavors, and it's a really fast and easy way to use leftover chicken. I might take a look at, oh man, this was when I had a lot. Well, I've got soup in the a can of soup, but it's so boring. But I can't get to the grocery store. I don't have enough money to be able to do anything else. We'll open that can of soup, add some frozen or some leftover vegetables, add some chicken, add a little bit more, whether it's stock or wine or cream or whatever that's going to soup it up a little bit. You've just, makeover a little lipstick and rouge on a can of soup. And it's actually quite a nice hearty thing of soup, and you've only used leftover chicken. Yeah. And then, whether that's going to be a stir fry that you can use cooked chicken for a stir fry. You can make it into a noodle dish or a casserole. So that becomes, that $9 package of chicken, which was on sale, right? Because you're not getting a thing of legs for less than 18 at this point in time. So if you can get it at half price and you can make 3 or 4 meals out of it, boy, that becomes $1 a person in terms of meat. And that is a really nice, inexpensive way to make sure you're getting some good quality protein. So, and then the only other thing that I would say in that scenario is even if I'm not a vegetarian, choosing some of those meatless options are really, really inexpensive and really, really fast. Beans and lentils. Nobody's pretending that it's meat. Nobody's trying to fool anybody. But you can enjoy it without necessarily being vegan. And that is really helpful on the pocketbooks, because there's nothing more expensive at the grocery store right now than meat.
Yeah. And I think some of those meatless alternatives, a can of beans can even make that meat even be stretched a bit further, but keep the fiber and that protein up. So I love that.
Totally.
And seeing just sort of creative options when you open up your pantry. I think it's easy for us to say, oh, there's nothing to cook. I'm out of food. I need to go to the grocery store. But I think often if we just get a little bit creative, and I think COVID's helped with this a bit as we
out of necessity.
And you see possibilities. So I love that.
Yeah. And I think just even thinking about what can I smoosh together to make something taste good, right? So I'm going to say burrito one more time, because I can have salsa and beans in the cupboard at any given time. And then I can use half as much chicken, chop it up finely so I get chicken in every bite, because that is a satisfying thing. And for those of us who eat meat, really do enjoy it. We don't just want a bean burrito, but having the beans in there with chicken, I still get both. And it does give me more burritos for the same amount of chicken. So those kinds of things really do make a difference. And then start to, as your young people get older, we also had a bit of scoring system, if we tried something like that, or if we smushed something together, mommy invented a thing or daddy tried something new, it wouldn't be like an Olympic scoring, because I would have hurt feelings. It would be more of a this is really good and we want to put it in the normal rotation, or we could have this again in a couple of weeks, or I never want to see this again kind of scoring. I didn't want scorecards over anybody's head, but it can help have everybody's input, because I think the pressure that we put on ourselves to meal plan is the stopping place. Everybody has to love everything, and it has to be hot, and it has to be blah. There's going to be days you don't love your supper. That's all right, because there's going to be days you do.
I know. Not every dinner needs to be a winner.
No, we're just trying to pass some of the time, Amanda. We just got to pass. Yeah.
I love that. Well, thank you so much, Angie. This has been so great. And perhaps we can invite our viewers, if they have any questions. I will put the email on the next slide as we say goodbye. If you have any questions for Angie and you'd like some follow-up, please send us your questions and we will get back to you. Anyway.
Absolutely. And anybody in Oxford County can call me up directly and ask me, and I can be helpful if you need some more creative ideas for your family.
All right. Thanks again, Angie.
My pleasure.